Hey everyone, thank you all for joining today. Welcome to another episode of CoinList Chats. My name is Spencer and I work on the business operations team at CoinList. So today we have Kevin Chou from the Rally team to come talk to us about the Rally network, learn more about the technology, learn about the community and, the different partnerships and usage that we've seen on the platform in addition to, just learning more about the creator economies and social tokens. So yeah, thank you all for joining again. Quick disclaimer, the Rally token sale and distribution on CoinList is only people living in eligible jurisdictions. So places that are not the US, Canada, and China, and other unsupported jurisdictions on CoinList will be able to participate in the CoinList tokens sale and distribution for Rally. So yeah, without further ado, welcome to the CoinList chats today, Kevin. And you want to give a quick presentation about Rally?
Yeah, thank you, Spencer, for having me. Really looking forward to this chat. I'm going to try to run through a presentation in about 15 or 20 minutes and try to give the audience as much time as possible for questions, and hope to keep it an interactive session. And I think we'll take questions also via chat as well, right, Spencer? So feel free to, along the way, put your questions in chat, and we'll get to as many as we can. All right, so Rally. Very excited to talk to you about Rally, which is a social token economic protocol. And so we'll talk a little bit about what that means, but quickly show kind of the list of team members. It's a very experienced entrepreneurial team that's coming together to create Rally and work with the community to build the Rally ecosystem up. I'm founder, CEO of Rally. My background prior to this was I actually started my career in finance, doing M&A transactions at Deutsche Bank. I then became a venture capitalist at Keenan Partners, leading up their consumer internet investments for a couple of years. And then I started Kabam in 2007. And Kabam was one of the early pioneers in free-to-play gaming. We started building games on Facebook platform, and then one of the very first mobile game companies to launch on the App Store with microtransactions, and then of course the Play Store on Google. I ran that from the beginning to the end for 11 years, and grew it from a kind of a PowerPoint presentation all the way to $400 million a year in revenue. We served over 500 million players across 50 games that we created in those 11 years. And so very experienced with kind of bleeding edge technology, creating large scale consumer-facing services, and really making things really simple and easy and sort of game-like in terms of, enabling consumers to understand very complex concepts and gameplay, but make it really simple to get into that experience. Bringing together some of the best technical team that I had at Kabam with Amit and Mike. We have two different CTOs at Rally. Amit runs everything that's kind of Web3 and network wide for us. So all of our Solidity code, smart contracts, et cetera, roll up into him. Mike Lee runs all the application level. So everything that's from payments to Rally.io to a number, to our NFTs and a number of other things that we're building out, fall up into him. Mahesh comes from a deep finance background, was a VC at Redpoint for 5 years prior to joining us as a co-founder and head of growth. Michelle comes to us with a very deep payment and platform partnership background, having been at MasterCard for almost 5 years, led up payments at Facebook and Netflix, and very excited to welcome her to the team as our newest member of our leadership team. Bremner Morris was the head of go-to-market at Patreon, probably the earliest pioneer in creator-facing monetization platforms, and brings a wealth of experience in having been on Patreon for over 3 years. And then Ira brought her on very early because we wanted to make sure that as we operate in the United States, the hardest jurisdiction from a crypto standpoint, that we wanted to make sure we had both inside general counsel as well as the best legal advice as we approach this and really create a safe place for creators to create crypto tokens that capture the value of their economy and their brand and their fan base. I won't spend too much time here, but we started the project about 3 years ago. I've worked with some of the top crypto investors, as well as kind of a whole community of people, including folks that have co-founded and been part of the leadership team at Coinbase, which was one of our earliest investors, Kevin Lin, one of the co-founders of Twitch, legal advice and legal advisors from Lawrence Chou and Warren Lazaro, both at leading law firms, Dennis Fong, the very first pro esports player, and Stephen Chang at Warner Brothers. Let's talk a little about the market opportunity. So we think we're going after a huge, huge market. And if we do this right, what we're going to get is the best of what's happening with social networks in terms of growth and engagement and real usage and interactivity at a social level for tokens. And then on the other side, at a network level, really capture, at the end of the day, Rally is an economic protocol. And so it's very much about how do we create a true value-based network. And if we do this right, we kind of capture the value creation that can happen at the intersection of social and payments. And we think that's, in my career, I've never seen an opportunity this big, and I'm really excited to kind of walk through this with everyone. When we started Rally and we said we wanted to figure out a way for the leading creators, not just in the US, but all around the world, to easily create their own digital assets and digital currency. And in the world that I come from in games, all of these would normally sit on a server that's controlled by a single company. What we wanted to say is we're going to take all these assets, and instead of having users and creators trust a company's server to maintain kind of value of the whole ecosystem, we're going to put this onto public blockchains, and specifically on Ethereum, and make sure that the value that everyone contributes into the network is truly a trustless value system. But the other side of things, the other side that makes this really hard is to solve some of the key issues that we see in the Ethereum, and general blockchain space today in terms of how do we make crypto usable? How do we build a economy and a business model that can kind of operate out of a box without a creator having to hire a Solidity development team as well as an economist to help them design their crypto network? And then the third point, especially here in the US, we wanted to, having been building in the space for a long time, we know that with the amount of value that's flowing through these types of networks, that at some point, the fiat on-ramps and off-ramps, which is really important if we're talking about bringing the next several hundred million people into crypto, we need to make sure that we are compliant and we are building things so that creators and fans and businesses and brands can really trust that this network isn't going to be on the wrong side of the law. So we want to solve these three problems, and while still maintaining kind of the trustlessness inherent to a layer one blockchain like Ethereum. So the first thing that we tackled was usability. We wanted to make Rally a no-code platform. I created my first website back in 1996. It was a gaming-related website, of course. And creating a website in 1996 was pretty hard, like setting up your own domain, your own web servers, getting it to work with browsers at the time, and Netscape at the time was a really difficult proposition for relatively simple static web pages. Fast forward 15 years, you got WordPress coming to market, and they make it really simple for anybody in the world to get their own domain, use a WYSIWYG, type of editor, drag and drop a few things, and then within a few minutes have a website up and running. And that evolution took about 15 years. If we look at where crypto is today in 2021, I think we're not quite in 1996, but we're still relatively early in terms of the average new person coming into crypto is pretty confused by how do I get a wallet set up? How do I get some Ethereum into that wallet? How do I pay for gas? How do I do these things on crypto? And so we wanted to enable creators and fans to have a really great experience by onboarding, into an environment that they can get up and running. They can buy crypto, they can earn it, they can trade it with other, fans and creators, and really use crypto for real services, for real digital, products. And so we really solved that here at Rally, and obviously a lot of our gaming background was very helpful, and really thinking through how do we create things that are as user-friendly as possible while still creating a true crypto experience. The second part that we wanted to solve is, okay, great, so I could create a token. I mean, it's relatively easy to create a plain vanilla ERC20 token, but how do you actually use that token in a business? And I think for a lot of the creators that we work with, people who are 100% focused on creating new content and services online, whether that be through Twitch or YouTube or Discord or Slack these days or any other online community forum. We wanted to create a kind of simple monetization economy that kind of works out of the box. And we also wanted to be able to make a promise to creators that you get 100% of the economics. Rally is not a company. We're not trying to charge a fee. We're not trying to make revenues and eventually go public. Rally is 100% focused on making sure that the Rally token is required to be used within the network to power all the things that get created. So we wanted to give 100% of the economics to the creators and to the fans that are creating value in the ecosystem, and make sure that the Rally token is designed correctly to capture a network-wide utilization. The other thing that I'll spend a little bit of time talking about is that creators also get network rewards. So if you were participating in Bitcoin 10 years ago, you needed to go set up a mining rig and participate through validating and ensuring the consensus of Bitcoin was done fairly. In Rally, because we build on Ethereum specifically, we don't need to do consensus. And so what we do is we have a token economic model that really rewards creators and fans and communities that are creating economic activity on Rally, and that's how the Rally token is distributed on an ongoing basis. The third point here is that we set up a sister company that is apart from Rally, but working very close and designed together with Rally to make sure we can offer a seamless experience for consumers. But that regulatory and compliance entity would go and get state by state in the United States money transmission licenses, and we've had that in 44 states. We filed all 50 states 2 years ago. We're in process in South Korea, Japan, Europe, and several other international territories. We're FinCEN registered. We want to make sure that big celebrities, big brands, household names, all the way down to your normal, your everyday creator on YouTube and TikTok and others, can depend on Rally to make sure that no bad actors, state actors, or North Korea isn't sitting here trying to use Rally in a way that isn't intended to be. And so this is what we've done. The left side, as most of you are familiar with, is what you need to go through if you're a first-time crypto user. So if you see your favorite YouTuber, you see your favorite musician using crypto, and it's on Ethereum, you got to go figure out everything here on the left side in terms of seed phrases and wallets and getting some ether into that wallet so that you can do something with that celebrity or that creator. And that, going through KYC and doing all that through an exchange, could take you days to get up and running. On the right side, from the time that you see your favorite creator tweet about it, launch their Twitch stream, whatever it is, to the time that you can create an account, swipe a credit card, get up and running, 60 seconds or less. That's what we've created here at Rally to make it really easy to get into crypto and start interacting. And we've done this so far with 81 creators on our platform. And this has spanned from celebrities to streamers, artists, influencers, musicians, even brands, social audio, and more. So I'm going to just quickly walk through some of the case studies of what creators are doing on Rally today. Portugal The Man is a Grammy Award-winning kind of indie band. They've been around for over a decade. They've really always wanted to create a new type of fan club where it's not just the fans paying for something and the band trying to offer some lame services on top of it. What they wanted to do was create a fan club that the fans truly participate in and truly run. And so they worked with 14 of their super fans to create the Portugal The Man token, create a fan community on Discord, and move kind of a lot of what was happening on Reddit over the last decade into Discord, aggregate a bunch of really unique content, videos of their previous concerts, etc., and basically put that into these audio archives into a token gated mechanism where you have to have a certain number of tokens to access all this unique content. And then the band would do unique events, hangouts with their fans, and soon launching exclusive digital merch only available to their token holders. They have 709 different people at this point that own the Portugal The Man token. Have done some incredible things, trailblazing what musicians can do with crypto. Ali Straza is one of the leading Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering streamers. So she'll regularly get 1,000 to 2,000 people watching her stream on any given day. What she wanted to do was create unique ways for her fans to interact with her on stream, as well as create little educational and one-on-one type of interactivity and access to her. So she'll do things like review your deck and give you advice on strategies if, if you're paying her through her cryptocurrency. She used to do this on PayPal and a few other payment mechanisms. She's really moving more and more of that into crypto. She also has a team that does things like edit her videos, from take a 5-hour stream on Twitch and find the best 5 minutes, make sure it's uploaded to YouTube, etc. So she does a lot of these things. She does on-stream donation alerts that's integrated into her token, and provides VIP content and merch, to her fans through her tokens. The most famous artist is probably best known for the monoliths. So if you were reading the news a few months ago over the holiday break, all these different monoliths popping up all over the world, that was one of his projects. He's got a community of 200 different artists that he works with, and they basically work together to create this new community. They're very active in NFTs, and they've created a Discord server that allows all these different artists from all over the world to participate in this community. You can see on the right side, by holding 50 art coins, you get access to certain types of content and community aspects. And in a separate, even higher tier of 250 tokens to be able to access, first looks and studio visits and a bunch of really cool things that they're doing. And as Rally launches our NFT platform, we're certainly going to be working with them closely on a number of different opportunities. The bot community is a community of developers. And so these are folks that are really engaged with our APIs, as well as their own community of developers all over the world. And they're doing things like incentivizing app trials, they're doing in-app microtransactions based on their token, and of course, having Discord roles where the community of developers connect from all over the world. So what is the business model for token creators? So when we go and talk to a creator that's considering Rally, and today we have a backlog of thousands and thousands of creators that are interested in doing this, we work with them to really make sure that they have a great experience and have a token and economy that can really power their business. So it starts with a creator creating their Genesis block. And this takes today 1,500 Rally tokens to create the Genesis block of their own tokens. And they own 100% of their Genesis tokens. And we generally work with the creators to make sure that their fans that have been supporting them, subscribing to them, buying merch in the past, all get distributed some of these tokens at the creation of the token itself. We then work with the creator to create generally a good holding use case. So you hold these tokens, you're in the fan club, and you need an X number of tokens to participate in some of those examples that I just went through. We also create a revenue transaction type of use case with each of these creators, where whether it's evaluating a Magic the Gathering deck strategy, whether it's selling merchandise and physical goods even through their token, whether it's getting access to an event or concert or music archive, some way that the musician or artist or creator can create a transaction in a very, very clear use case with their token. And really those two things come together to really kickstart kind of this economy. And then from there, obviously anybody in the world who's participating in the crypto world and is interested in new crypto opportunities can participate in these economies that are, there's already a tight-knit community between the creator as well as the core fan base, and anybody in the world can start to participate. And why does that happen? Partly because we designed these network rewards such that the whole community of token holders can really benefit. And the way that this works, if you go to Rally, I'll just quickly show how to find this. So let's pick Gary, who's another one of our great business thought leaders and creators. What you see here in this blue box is the current reward status. So this gets reset Saturday, every single Saturday, and the Rally rewards happen on an hourly basis. And so you can see here the countdown, it's about 9 minutes to the next Rally reward distribution. And so far, the community, everyone in the Gary community has earned about 32,000 Rally tokens to date. On Saturday, when this gets distributed, everyone who holds Gary coins gets to participate in this benefit. And so this is a way that creators benefit, their fans who are supporting them benefit, everyone in the world who holds these tokens and are supporting these creators and creating economic transactions and activity benefit from being a participating in this creator's economy. And one of the coolest things for the creator then is whenever somebody sells their creator coin, so Gary coin in this last example, Gary would get a small 1% transaction fee from those token sales. So all of this works together to create a true economy. And what we see is that it's not just fans that are paying, the creator for tokens as the only, sort of business model of why you would create this. Obviously, there's a little bit more friction to use crypto than to use, let's say, PayPal. But it's really creating this multifaceted economy where early fans and previous supporters get to earn some of these tokens as the token gets launched. Revenue and other holding activities happen to create usage and ongoing economic activity. Network rewards kind of rewards everyone in the ecosystem for participating. Crypto community enthusiasts can come and participate and support creators as well. And then the token fees also help to support a creator. So it's a multifaceted way that creators can earn a full-time living using crypto to power their economy. And there's really nothing like this that they can do by using fiat or using traditional payments. It's really unique to what is possible as we explore the frontier of crypto. Okay, that's great for creators, but what does this mean for Rally? Why do I talk so much about creators? Well, we got to make it work for creators, right? If creators are successful on our platform and we've designed Rally correctly, then the whole network benefits. So what does that look like? Well, to create a creator coin, you need to stake Rally tokens into a smart contract, and that's how the creator coins are first minted. And creator coins are, what this is showing is that, creator, A may be a relatively larger creator, and they've got huge blocks of Rally that are staked into their ecosystem, and small creators can have a smaller number of Rally that's staked into their ecosystem. You can find this data, again, going to this example. So for example, with Gary today, he's got 211,000 Rally tokens that have been staked into his token to create what is currently 125,000 Gary coins in his economy. And all of that, all of those Rally tokens get locked into that ecosystem. So as long as Gary is successful and he's earning transaction fees, he's earning network rewards, he's generating revenue transactions, all of that Rally sort of stays as the collateral and liquidity token that power his economy without Gary having to do anything. We just make it really simple for this to happen. And so what happens is a lot of CoinList community has kind of asked, well, why is there such a huge token supply? It's because we designed Rally to really be a long-term network. This token supply gets distributed over 8 years, and really at this point we're probably more on a 10-year long distribution cycle. And so today we have 81 creators on the platform. This is in aggregate locked 7.8 million Rally tokens into these smart contracts to generate those creator coins. Again, remember Gary himself has 211,000. If you add up the 80 other creators, it would total 7.8 million Rally tokens as of March 19th. So if this ratio holds, as we grow the number of creators coming onto our platform from 81 creators to 81,000 creators, for example, 7.8 billion Rally tokens would be locked into these creator coin contracts to basically power this ecosystem. And just as long as people are using the Rally network, Rally is being used to be the collateral and liquidity token that powers the entire network, on top of being a true governance token that the community uses to vote on and govern the most important aspects of the Rally network. The next part of, so Rally's been growing incredibly fast. We launched the network October 15th, so just a little bit past 6 months at this point. We've been growing incredibly fast, 35% week over week growth in transaction activity since the beginning of this year. We're now doing just with this last week, about 100 million annualized transaction volume just on these creator coins and themselves. On the mainnet, on Ethereum mainnet, which is the Rally token, our volumes have ranged anywhere from 50 million a day to several million. And the last slide I'll go through here is kind of where's Rally going? Well, one of the things that we didn't talk a ton about, but you can see in some of the examples, is that we've created all sorts of different APIs. And in March, we're going to finalize our OAuth APIs so that developers can create all the usage cases for creators. So, when Gary pulls his token into HubSpot, all of that integration is just based off the HubSpot APIs and the Rally APIs. He doesn't need to go get Solidity developers to program the smart contracts. He can use our APIs to bring the Gary token into the places where his community is already hanging out, his newsletters, all these different things, and say things like, if you read my newsletter, you get X number of tokens. If you share my newsletter, you share my content on social, you get another reward. All these things he's integrated himself into our APIs, and that's finalizing here in March. In April, you're going to see version 2 of our network rewards come out. So right now we're still in version 1 of our network rewards. We've learned a ton. Our network rewards are a big incentive for communities to really come together and support creators. And we're going to see version 2 roll out in April. In May is when we launch our NFT platform. So we're actually, Rally started as an NFT ecosystem as we were a platform, and we were thinking about how do we support creators, how do we create network-wide benefits. We realized that we needed to start with the social token itself and then enable creators to create all sorts of NFTs that can be used together with their social tokens. They're going to see an integrated economy where NFTs and social tokens work together to kind of power this economy for creators. And it's a completely different approach than anything that's out there today, and really excited to spend more time talking about this and show the community what we have going on here. In June, we'll update the network rewards for NFTs and other revenue producing transactions. July, we have so many things that we want to do on NFTs, and so you're going to see us do more and more things with another big release in July. The other thing that I skipped is in June, you'll be able to take the creator coins themselves and exit into Ethereum as an ERC20. So today, the Rally token can kind of get bridged in and out from Ethereum. And to come out of the sidechain, you need to take your creator coin and convert it back into Rally token and then bridge out. We're going to launch that functionality for the creator coin itself in June. So you'll be able to take that Gary token and exit out into mainnet and put it into Uniswap or your favorite DEX, or use it in any other Ethereum-based protocol. So really excited about that. Obviously, that's been a key part of our roadmap for a long time. You'll see some e-commerce integrations come out in August, and you'll see kind of our staking rewards and design come out in September. Where I've done a lot of business in Asia. My family's from China. We had a 300-person office at Kabam in Beijing, and you're going to see us launch China language next as our next major region. And then from there, several other international regions that we'll be supporting in the Q4 timeframe. And then Q1, we're going to be launching our multi-chain support. So those are some of the big beats that are coming up. And I know that's kind of a high-level overview, but I wanted to give everyone a taste of kind of how to think about Rally, what is the economic design of Rally, how are we working with creators today, and then where the network, the current traction of the network and the exponential growth that we're seeing, plus where we're going with Rally. And then I'll open it up for questions at this point. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. That was super comprehensive, and big fan of your platform. You have a lot of creators I'm personally a fan of as well, like Tasteless and whatnot. So big fan of your work. I guess, kind of taking a quick step back, how would you define like creator economies? Like, what do you think is the opportunity there? And like, I know you touched on this a little bit, but like, why do you think crypto is especially well suited of a medium to grow these creator economies? I think you're muted.
Good point. The creator economy, we think, is just fascinating. I mean, in some ways, it's a small business. In another way, we think about crypto as enabling fans that support these creators to also benefit and really contribute. And this is really hard to do in fiat, and especially if you have a fan base that's global, right? So for a Twitch streamer these days, you have dozens and dozens of people from, you have, for example, Ali Straza has dozens of countries where she has fans, and they're tuning in, they're watching in real time, but they're using euros, they're using yen, they're using all sorts of different currencies. And so if she wants to create even very simple payments between her and her fans, she's got to navigate multiple currencies. And then even then, a fan isn't really able to participate in Ali Straza's economy. So if a fan is volunteering to be a moderator during her stream or helping to moderate her Discord channel, there's really nothing that the fan can really do to participate except maybe having Alex Straza send a PayPal payment or Venmo, to them as a payment. But when you turn this type of economy into a crypto network, you really have multiple ways that a creator can benefit, right? They can, when they first create their token and it's not worth anything yet, they can distribute it out to her fans. She can pay her moderator. She can pay her video editors without reaching into her own pocket and paying them in US dollars and paying all the currency transaction fees. She can use a simple crypto payment to do that, right? And then probably, as we were talking about, one of the most interesting things is that these rally network rewards that get emitted every single hour, they benefit everyone who's helping us support Ali and her community. So Ali would get, the way that it's calculated is that the number of tokens you hold divided by the total number of rally tokens is what the creator herself or himself would get as the rally tokens. And then of course, every other person that's holding Ali tokens would participate as well. So it's really everyone working together to kind of create value, to create multi-dimensional payments from fan to creator, creator to fan, fan to fan, that we see happening in the network. And all of this works together to create a much better business model for creators. And by the way, you as a creator, if you're 100% dependent on YouTube or Twitch or some other platform for 100% of your revenue, this gives you a second revenue stream that you completely own yourself and you're in charge of. There's not deplatforming, there's no fee changes, there's no policy changes that we as a company determine, because Rally is truly run by the community itself at this point.
Awesome. Yeah. And then, yeah, I'm kind of curious to hear more about that current Rally community. Like, can you talk more about the current community, like how decentralized governance works for Rally, and like, where do you see yourself, or where do you see that community growing into, like the additional roles they'll take on?
Yeah, one of the things that so there's two really important things, or three things that the community is in charge of. So when we launched October 15th, we said, you know what, these three core responsibilities that a typical company would make the decisions, we're not going to make the decisions. It's not going to roll up into Kevin or somebody that Kevin hires to make these decisions. The community of Rally token holders are truly going to make all of these decisions. And that is, the three buckets are, number one, any creator coming onto the platform, as well as any corrective actions that would happen if a community became a really bad actor when doing something really, really bad. We need to make sure that there's some mechanism in place. And instead of a company making that decision, really the Rally community makes all those decisions about that. And we need to scale that better, and we're evolving that into version 2. The second thing that the community controls is any of the network reward changes. So network rewards are such an important aspect. We obviously want to be very careful about how we design these network rewards, but because it's such a new type of network reward, we knew we wouldn't launch the whole thing all at once and set it in stone. We wanted to make sure that as we launch different parts of our network rewards, you can see today we're incentivizing certain types of network behaviors. In the future, with NFTs and a number of other things coming out, you'll see us continue to evolve our network rewards to make it better and better for the community. Anything that touches network rewards, we would not control as a company, but instead the Rally community of token holders would control. And the third aspect is that we have a fairly large on-chain treasury at this point. We had launched with a unique way of starting to build an on-chain treasury, and with the CoinList sale, there's all these other things. It's not coming into us as a company. It's going completely into an on-chain treasury. We show the wallets. You can find those on our wiki to see how much is in the community treasury at any given point in time. But we really think that the community itself should be determining how to best use the treasury and the funds that we have available to invest in the ecosystem. So all those three things we sort of turn over to the community, and you can check it out if you go to Rally. You go to our voting and forum mechanisms. So we're probably, I think, one of the most active, communities on Snapshot. We've done 154 proposals in the last 6 months. All of this is voted on by the Rally token community. You can see for the more extensive kind of debates, we have also, I think, one of the more active discourses, in the crypto community. So everything from rewards evolution, and you can just kind of see the very thoughtful discussions and different different activity here about how do we evolve network rewards in this V2 format, etc. Lots and lots of conversations, lots of community participation. We're pretty excited to see this community really come together and kind of see the vision and the promise of Rally and want to be an active participant in how this is run. And again, not have this be a traditional centralized company, but instead be a true community run platform.
Awesome. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I think, CoinList is very much holds the ethos of like helping decentralized communities and like helping these communities grow over time as well. It's definitely echo that sentiment. And I guess a lot of people are asking like, what is, what is Rally's plans and strategy to attract the community and growing to, 81 from 81 creators to like 81,000 creators, and also growing that decentralized community behind it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so one of the things that's been gating us is our approval process and the tools that a creator needs to basically, even though it's no code, the creator needs to determine, their ticker. They need to get their wallet set up. They need to make sure that as they launch their token, they have a way to reward the fans that they've wanted to reward. So all these different things kind of create. We don't have the tools that we really want to get it completely self-serve at this point. So one is we need to take the onboarding process for creators. That's typically 2 weeks at this point. If the creator is truly motivated, they could get it done in a day or two. But for general sort of the back and forth and just questions about how does crypto work, et cetera, we work with a lot of creators where almost every creator, I would say, this Rally is the first time that they've done anything in crypto. And so there's just a lot of questions normally. So there's a little bit of an education process. But now we're getting to the point where creators are looking at what other creators are doing and saying, oh my gosh, that creator is doing something super cool. That person's a musician also, Portugal the Man, et cetera. I want to do just what Portugal the Man is doing. Awesome, right? Now that's so much easier than when we launched Portugal the Man, and Portugal the Man was trying to just figure out everything, from scratch. And then when we launch, a Clubhouse creator, for example, they're having to, what Portugal the Man did was great for Portugal the Man and music, but not so great for social audio. So for our first social audio creators, they had to figure out everything from scratch. And then our first Instagram creators, they had to figure out everything from scratch. So we're getting to the point now with 81, and we've been very careful in terms of how we select the 81 to really try to get a representative, sample across different types of creators. We're now getting to the point where we're covering enough categories and having very successful creators that new creators are just like, I want to do what that creator is doing. So hopefully we'll create more tools for the onboarding process, shorten up that time period from weeks to days to minutes over time as we can launch this backlog of thousands of creators that we have. The other thing that we're doing is we're moving from kind of one creator, one vote on Snapshot, which is not scalable if we want to start launching thousands of creators a month. We want to get to a point where we're evolving, and this community has passed a proposal to create what's called a community review council. And obviously people who are on that council are selected by the community, but the council then can review all the applications and approve or reject the creator applications. And we can have a much more streamlined process where we can review applications and evaluate creators and verify their identity, et cetera, much faster. So those are some of the things that I think will help us. And then we have a number of even deeper sort of infrastructure things that we're building out that really just make it easy for really anybody to get onto the platform over time. But so in, of course, international regions. So we're thinking a lot about how do we go from this 81 creators today to get to 81,000 creators as fast as we can.
That makes sense. And it sounds like there's going to be a lot of use cases. What are some use cases you're personally most excited about that are you're seeing right now, and what are some that you want to see in the future?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned, a lot of what we started Rally with was actually based around NFT usage. So we've been working on our core NFT structure for 2 years, at this point, and designing all sorts of really interesting mechanisms for NFTs. And I think where we are with NFTs today is it's really just collectibles and art, that is how the market views NFTs, right? And I love what's going on with NFTs, and there's so many different experiments, but a lot of that experiment is, okay, I've got this piece of art. You can verify the authenticity and the creation of this NFT. In some cases, you can verify that media file or is stored in the right way, in a trustless way that can be live on forever. There's all sorts of things that people are now starting to realize that not all NFTs are created equal, but in general, NFTs are, hey, here's a piece of art, or here's an image, even a music track, bid on this thing, own this thing. And that's great, but you're not really using it, right? And a lot of where we think NFTs, kind of from the gaming world, everything that you use in the game, it could be that sword that you get and the way that you use that sword and how that enhances your gameplay in that game. It could be the skin that you're buying and you're showing off to other people. It could be that health potion that you buy, that you drink to, when you need to get a little bit of more health. All of these things are really, just digital assets, right? And I think when we talk about NFTs and non-fungible tokens, we kind of really think of just really rare and scarce NFTs, as opposed to how are NFTs really used every day. And so you're going to see us, for example, as we launch our NFT platforms, really focus on interesting use cases. For example, with some of our musicians, the ability to get access to an event. Well, right now you have to hold, let's say 50 tokens to get access to an event. But what if that event was in the concert ticket, or the event ticket was an NFT? And you bought that NFT 5 days before the concert. You're, of course, on the day of the concert, you use that NFT to gain access to that concert, whether it's physical, real world, or whether it's a virtual, digital concert. You use that NFT, you present it, you get access, you enjoy the experience, and then afterwards, you hold on to it as a collectible. And then what happens if we create sets? So just like in games, if you have to, sometimes you have to go get the leather scraps here, you got to go combine it with some iron, steel, and then you got to go combine that with whatever gem it is, and you combine all those things together, and you get this new thing. Well, what happens if you have NFTs for every single concert, and then if you go collect all of them, or you go to all these concerts, you can kind of combine them all together, get access to the backstage pass, NFT, and use that in the backstage. So we're going to see those use cases with musicians. We're going to see those use cases, of course, with our gamers. So we're going to design our NFTs to be really usable. And because we've designed out all these APIs, you don't have to, you as a musician, and maybe you've hired a outsourced web dev, shop, it's going to be really hard for you to program a Solidity-based smart contract. But what you can use is our APIs to create smart contract-like functionality, and just use a very simple set of APIs to basically pull these NFTs into a mobile app, into your website, into a Shopify, into your blog, and then into a concert, and really have these NFTs used in all sorts of really creative ways. And so I think that's NFTs plus social tokens. Those things together are going to create kind of a true economy, and that's really what we're excited about in terms of usage.
That's awesome. That's definitely sounds like some really cool interactions will be happening soon. And I guess kind of on the topic of interactions and the large amount of transactions, obviously ETH fees has been a big center of topic for recently. I know Rally's using like a sidechain model right now. Like kind of what's the thinking there? Are you planning on moving to other layer one protocols? I know you mentioned cross bridge functionality for other chains in Q1 next year. And kind of how are you thinking about that conversation?
Yeah. So if we go back to kind of this usability, and the sidechain solves many things. From a technical standpoint, it solves the things that the crypto community is very well aware of today, which is transactions per second, obviously gas fees, for transactions. If you're paying $25 in gas fees, you're not going to be able to do a $2 transaction. We have $2 transactions happen. We have dollar transactions and micro transactions happen on the Rally sidechain all the time, because it's economical on the sidechain. So those are some of the benefits of using kind of sidechain that the crypto community is familiar with. But if you're thinking about it from a consumer standpoint, how do we get the next million, 10 million, 100 million consumers into crypto? We think that we can, with the sidechain, we're able to vertically integrate account creation, wallet provision, and obviously because of the sidechain model, kind of not having to pay on a per transaction fee basis for every single microtransaction that you do. all those things are really valuable ways to onboard somebody into the community. But we obviously understand that from a trust perspective, this is not ideal. And we also knew, 2+ years ago, as we were starting to build out this architecture, we also knew, we knew back then that ETH2 would take a while, and that we knew even back then there were L2 solutions that were starting to get talked about. But we felt like, as we looked at the state of the crypto world, that the L2s would not be production ready by the time we wanted to launch Rally. And certainly we're seeing a lot of advancements there. And so we ultimately, of course, want to get the side chain onto a place where you can see where all of that is being either rolled up and pinned, either pinned first and then eventually trustlessly rolled up into a main chain on Ethereum. And so that's definitely part of where we're going with this. But today, our side chain is like our own L2 solution, and it just enables both easy consumer on-ramp. It enables easy fiat transactions that we can set up these money transmission licenses and do payment gateway, deals ourselves, and banking deals that enable these really simple and easy ways for consumers to get into it. And then, as I talked about in June, we'll get a way for, if you're a crypto enthusiast and you're like, I don't want to trust the side chain, I want to hold everything in my MetaMask wallet, or I want to hold it in my Ledger wallet. Great, you can do that. You can exit your creator coin that you're holding into mainnet and hold your assets there and participate there.
Awesome. And I guess another very interesting question about, like, your design is this use of bonding curves. Can you talk a little bit about why you decided to use bonding curves for creator coins, and like maybe even talk about what even is a bonding curve there?
Right. So a bonding curve is an algorithmic way that we define a relationship between two tokens. And in our case, it's the relationship between a Rally token and any one of the creator coins. And so what that smart contract says is, if you put in X number of Rally, you mint Y number of creator coins. Or on the other side, you insert Y number of creator coins and you get X number of Rally tokens out of it. And so it's you can think about it as also an automated market maker, because you don't need a counterparty. If you're holding, a Gary token, even though his community is super active, you don't need to find another fan that's willing to sell you tokens for you to buy tokens, right? This is activity that really happens either on a DEX or a centralized exchange. But if you're a creator and you just launched your Gary token, it probably doesn't even make sense, even if you're a pretty big creator, to put that token onto Uniswap right away. And so with the bonding, because you have to then provision the liquidity for the Uniswap for the Uniswap pool, and do all these things that really only more advanced crypto users can figure out. But let's say I'm a fan and I want to buy some PTM tokens. I could get access to their Discord channel and get access to all the unique content that's sitting there. Well, I don't have to go figure out how to navigate a swap. I don't, on a DEX. That token doesn't need to be listed on a centralized exchange. I don't need to go find another fan, or I don't need to bother Gary to sell me some of his tokens. I can just go onto Rally.io, interact with the smart contract in this very simple way that we've set up, and swipe my credit card, buy $20 worth of PTM tokens. That gets me the requisite number of PTM tokens to then use and get access to the benefits of holding that token. So all of that is kind of the benefits of the bonding curve, where when a token first gets started, we create liquidity, and all that liquidity is flowing in and out of the Rally token. So the Rally token itself gets more and more liquidity. And today, I think we have something like $50+ million of liquidity sitting behind our Uniswap and balancer pools. You're starting to see Rally get listed on some centralized exchanges that have picked this up. So as Rally gets put onto more and more places where you can easily transact the Rally token, more and more liquidity happens behind the Rally token, so that any single creator coin can benefit from all of the liquidity across the entire Rally network. And so you can imagine, for example, let's say we bring on, kind of a household name. We bring on, I won't put any names out there. We're actually working on a number of, very, very large deals. But let's say we put on like a type of celebrity that will probably get a $10 million, types of economic activity on day one of their token launch. Well, what happens with, if you were to launch that token from scratch, you would have crazy volatility and probably just not enough liquidity in the market to, for all the the buyers, in the kind of initial launch. Doing it this way through a token bonding curve, we can facilitate $10 million of transactions for any single creator coin on a day, no problem, given the type of liquidity that we're already starting to get with Rally. And of course, as Rally gets larger and larger, more and more liquidity in the network, more and more benefit goes to the creators for doing that. So again, a bonding curve, it's a simple primitive that just says you put X tokens in and Y tokens come out. But it actually has many, many different benefits in terms of how it can be used for new tokens to facilitate liquidity. Each token is also then backed by Rally tokens. So you don't have to worry and say, like, is this token that I bought potentially worthless? Well, no, because as long as the Rally token, has value determined in the marketplace, that creator coin is backed by X number of Rally tokens and will have a certain amount of value in the marketplace. Even if the creator dies, tomorrow, you'll have the ability to have liquidity in that token because of the way that we designed it.
Awesome. Yeah. And we spoke a lot about kind of how the creator coin dynamic works. Can you talk a little bit more about, what people can do with the Rally token right now? Like what kind of activity participate in on the network currently?
So the Rally token is a governance token, first and foremost. So you can go on to our snapshot and our forums to participate in recommending new creators, voting on the creators that are up for proposal. So voting on the network rewards, even a coin list, even CoinList itself was put through a Rally community proposal. So the Rally token is a true governance token, and you can use that to vote. The second thing is that the Rally token is a liquidity token. So every time a creator coin is minted from a token bonding curve, Rally tokens behind the scenes, and it's all done through software in an automated way. If you go swipe a credit card and buy, let me just go to the site. If you go to the site, let's say I want to buy, $50 worth of Gary, what's actually happening is that that credit card swipe would go through, it would go out and market buy $50 worth of Rally tokens or whatever the equivalent, exchange rate is at that point in time. Insert those Rally tokens into the smart contract, mint the number of Gary tokens that the exchange rate would basically be quoted, and those tokens would then get deposited into the user's wallet for having done that credit card swipe. So the Rally token is being used behind the scenes every single minute based on creator coins either being created by token bonding curves or moved back from creator coins back into Rally and then being exited out of a token bonding curve smart contract. So like the Rally tokens are working behind the scenes for every single creator coin transaction that is interacting with the token bonding curve. And then the third thing that Rally tokens are used for today is the ability to participate in our liquidity mining and other things. So if you go to Rally and you go to our liquidity mining, this account doesn't have my MetaMask on it, but you can click over into you can participate in our Uniswap and balancer pools and earn some additional Rally tokens as a reward. But you can basically provision liquidity for the network by holding the Rally token as well. So those are the uses today. And of course, more and more use cases will come as we continue to build out functionality.
Awesome. Cool. So it sounds like we have around like 4 minutes left. I guess, is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you are really excited about or want to, mention?
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting time for social tokens and NFTs in general, and we're seeing just more and more mainstream adoption. I think one of the key things to think about Rally, and I'm really excited that we've done the work. Again, in the United States, the hardest territory, this is necessary. In overseas market, it's a bit easier to do this, but in the United States, it's a huge competitive moat that we've gone state by state and obtained money transmission licenses. What we've seen from FinCEN lately is that they're starting to talk about NFTs as exchange of value. And when there's exchange of value, KYC and AML is necessary because you want to make sure that somebody that, the 100,000 people in North Korea, for example, that are mining crypto are not taking that crypto and then buying, a $5 million NFT and then selling that NFT for 4 million, ETH worth of value and washing their, washing crypto that way, right? So NFTs will, I think, as they continue to go into the mainstream consciousness will get looked at more and more closely in the United States at the very least. Again, outside of the United States, there's in some ways easier regulatory insight, but AML really is a global concern at this point, and really all developed nations across the world kind of band together to make sure that we understand kind of major fund flows. And because NFTs are having major fund flows, that means taking a credit card payment for an NFT will likely get harder and harder. It will require knowing who's buying, who's selling, what the exchanges are, between two people. And while all that can happen on mainnet trustlessly on Ethereum and other blockchains, when you're talking about a fiat transaction to crypto transaction, or crypto transaction back into fiat, those are the places that you're likely to see governments and regulatory bodies around the world start to look more carefully at NFTs and social tokens. And so I think one of the most, one of the things that we wanted to do right from the get-go was make sure that we can protect creators, protect big celebrities, and make sure that their tokens, their social tokens, their NFTs can work in a trustless manner, but still have these AML guarantees behind them, and make sure that state actors aren't using this stuff for bad and nefarious purposes. And so I think the way that we've designed Rally, we really try to be this bridge between the traditional world and the crypto world. We want things to be able to live on Ethereum and have all the trustlessness that can happen there. But we also want to be able to offer credit card, ACH, PayPal, other fiat transaction methods to be able to buy and purchase your first crypto or your second crypto token, and really just make that a seamless, easy process and protect everybody in the network. And I think we've designed an architecture to enable that. I'm really excited about kind of the whole heat in the space, but also, as we saw in the 2017, 2018 ICO era, with a lot of heat comes more scrutiny. And I think the space will continue to mature. And I think because Rally is really trying to make sure we do things right, we have the opportunity to work with some of the biggest names in the world, and you'll see those names come on the platform very soon.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely excited to see where the network keeps growing and more creators get onboarded. Awesome. So yeah, we're about out of time. Again, this recording is recorded and will be published on YouTube shortly after this broadcast. Otherwise, yeah, thank you again for joining, everyone, and thank you for supporting the project and supporting the sale and distribution on CoinList. And thank you for joining us today, Kevin. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Spencer. Thank you, CoinList. You guys have been awesome partners, and look forward to April 1st.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you all, everyone. I'll talk to you.
Bye,
guys.
everyone.